Hello everyone, welcome back to my lesson series again. Basically last time we were working on to this form where we added this top Google map onto our page, which looks nice. Now we are going to basically write some PHP because we created a PHP document, and easy way to add PHP onto the website is basically wherever you want to, you can either make a different file and include your file here, or you can add a PHP into the same HTML file you are creating. So here is the area where we are creating our HTML form, and I'll try to embed some of my PHP. So to write the PHP code into HTML page or Bootstrap or anywhere, you just write the PHP and press tab, and this creates the PHP tags for you for 100% free. So what you can do is anything provided in the question mark PHP and closing PHP tag will be taken as a PHP code in the computer. So what you can do is now is you can test first if your PHP is working. So to test any, when you write any code in any first code in any language, most popular example is we write sort of hello world text onto the screen. So I will use hello and word, and I can just write this and see after, if after this contact me heading, if we can see hello world, if we saw that, that means our PHP is working onto the page. So if I go to the same page, as you can see, hello world is coming up here from PHP side. So this is working, which is nice. Now what we can do is, we want, when this form is submitted, as you can see, last time I told you when the form is submitted, it is important to see what is the action of the form and what is the method of the form. So action, I told you last time, wherever we are providing the script of the form processing, we should provide that page name. For now we are, because we are coding the PHP on the same page, so we can provide the same page name where we are working, contact.php, and we want to post the form, so we are okay with the post variable, sorry, the method. So what I will do is, and number three thing you should check is all the elements of your input have a name attribute in them, and if there is a radio button or select, they should have the values associated with them. Otherwise when you submit the form you won't get the values. So what we can do is, we can what we were going to do, we were going to check first of all the names and the values. Another thing was this button. Basically when somebody presses this button, we want to first of all we want to check, when somebody presses the button, we can say the message or something to make sure we catch the submit button. So to write that code, you can write if, and if is set in PHP, you can say $_post, which is our form method, if this form is posted. And if we say in the post, if we have, for example, what was the name of the button we created, which was send message, you can give it any name, it's gonna work, provided if you provide the same sort of name. So if I go and make some space here, and if I echo something out, for example, echo button was pressed. So what happens is, if you press the button, then only that, if I upload the latest file on server and basically refresh the page, as you can see, the hello word or this piece of text button was pressed is not there. But if I press the button, this send message button, that message should come up after this contact me thing. So if I click on that, as you can see, button was pressed. So we successfully tested that, like our submit button is good, everything is working good. PHP is catching the click, and we are showing this. Now you can do first thing, obviously, if I do if I make a local variable for name, first thing people provide here is the name of the if I write post, and if I say name, and if I write echo with it, so what it's gonna do is whatever I put into this name field is gonna echo back that name into the place where the writing button was pressed. And let's see if it works. These are the small tricks. If you learn the basics of it, then it's easy for you to write complex programs, and you have controls over the variables and the forms and the data you process. So if I do this, and if I write my name here and press send, as you can see my name is appearing onto the page. I'm just dropping the same value back onto the page just to show you that we have successfully stored over. This is the way we create, by the way, this is a if condition in PHP. This is how you write the PHP, and I'm making use of one of the PHP function isSet, which basically can check if something is posted. And once the form is submitted, I'm using another PHP command echo to show, and I created a variable. Variables basically a small little place you can create in a memory where you can store the value. And we will cover the variables and everything in much more details inshallah when we go to the PHP and MySQL side of things. So but for now, as you can see, I'm creating a little variable here where I stored the name and echoed back onto the page. What I can do is I can repeat the same for all the value. For example, I can add a bit more to make it bit more sort of realistic. We can modify the form a little bit. We can say first thing we receive is a name, and second thing is we can write the email of a person, whoever is writing we can call. And good thing is if you write the type input email, HTML5 recognizes the email input type. So I will go into the detail later. You can validate, and it can show you like if it's not valid email address and blah blah blah. So if I write the name instead of name, because name is this, the name of a person, this is email, and in a placeholder you can say please enter your email address. So, and we don't need might be gender. Yeah, I mean let's keep it to show you how later on we can delete that if I kept it to for you to use the same form to send me your inquiries. If I kept that page, I'll delete the gender bit and I'll just keep the name, email, and message box. But for now, let's keep it for the functionality reason and for the learning purposes. So if I write the email, so that email box should be coming up onto the page. So if I process, as you can see, we have name and we have email. So if I if I want to check if I'm getting the email address as well, so I just copy the whole thing, and we can say, I mean, I can copy the whole thing for all the other values, for example name, email, and we have email. Here we have what was the other thing, we have gender, and and we have other thing is area of interest, and we have how did you hear about us. That was quite long variable name, but we can live with that for now. Just copy paste to save time. So if I select some values and post, and if I just add some line breaks before this and that before every, so this is how you concatenate your HTML with the a PHP output, the dot operator, and then you provide the double quotation marks, and within that you can provide your HTML sort of tags here. So if I just copy the same and provide here, 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 and here. So that what it's going to do is when we post back on the page, it's going to show in a separate lines all the data. So let's hope it works. If I click here and refresh the page, and there's no values coming up there, but if I just write, for example, my name Hasib Anjum, and we can write, if I write Legends Cloud Mail, and I'm interested in automotive, came through social media, and this is my message, which is coming from the text area input. So if I press this, as you can see, the name, email, gender, automotive, the area of interest, social media, how did they hear? I mean, you can do something like you can give a name so that you can understand the name is equal name, and then you can say email address. I mean, you can format your output into the table or list, so you know you can do so much. We can cover in later lessons. And this one was the gender, and we can say area of interest, and we can say the same thing for how did they hear about us. And you can save that, and if I refresh, if I upload the same page again and repost the same values, as you can see, now it makes more sense. Name, email address, excuse me, name, email address, area of interest, and we have how did they hear about us, blah blah blah. So all the values, instead of, I think message didn't come onto the page, which was how did they hear. Yeah, message didn't come up onto the page. The reason it didn't come up because we didn't add the message bit into our output. So if I copy the last bit I added, let's not copy, I can just write here, it's echo, and I can make a line break. Typing is good sometime to improve your typing speed. So this was the message, and message can be, we can say message name of the field. Message is we called it message, I think. If we go back, yeah, message, and we can say equals to, obviously the value we are posting from post, and we can say this was the message attribute, sorry, message name. So if I do this and upload, I'll see if it lets me process the same with the message I wrote. Yeah, the last time message I wrote was this. This is my message which is coming out from the page. So what I will do is I'll continue from here. We are doing some exciting stuff in a PHP. Don't worry about it if you don't understand fully. I'm just showing you how with a bit of PHP help scripting you can do something really nice and much more complex in its nature, and which can really help businesses. Like if you make a website which has, you know, contact us page, people going to contact that business to know more about their services. So any posts we do on a Facebook messaging and all that on day-to-day basis, it's all about the input fields where we write and post stuff. So this is quite exciting stuff actually. So what we will do is we will continue over coding on form. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but what I will do is I'll just process this form in email, then we'll close the chapter of forms, and then we can move on to the styling bit, the CSS external style sheet, internal style sheet, inherited, and we can go on to the some of the complex HTML5 sort of divs, which canvas or commands or some other things. So I'll come back with the more tutorials. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to click on the bell icon to receive the updates and the new videos from me. Thank you very much for watching.